Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be reviewing the new concealer from Natasha Denona. This is called the Transfix Matte Concealer. And if you guys hear me, I sound super stuffy. I've been sick all weekend long. I had so much fun during spring break just hanging out with my family, and I got sick over the weekend and I have been in bed all weekend, but I am out. I don't feel the best, but I am not gonna lay in bed anymore because I gotta be productive. It's just kind of who I am. I recently ordered this from the Sephora website. This retails for $28. So there are 23 different shades in this concealer, and let me say this right off the bat. The one thing that kind of I didn't like from the very beginning was the shade description. So there are no shade descriptions on the Natasha Denona website or at Sephora. So she has categorized these shades based on undertone, which is totally fine. I'm really glad that I know what the undertone is, but I don't know what the shade is. So I don't know if it's light, or if it's light medium, or if it's medium, or if it's medium tan. I really need to know that. So I think she could have added that to it just to make it really, really easy, because I really struggled trying to pick my shade. I chose 9WY, which is described as level 9 with a warm yellow undertone. Natasha Denona recently uploaded some descriptions about this concealer on her Insta stories, and basically, like I said, there are 4 undertones within this concealer. W is warm, and it is for warm skin tones or to correct dark spots, circles, and hyperpigmentation, and it is suited for all skin tones. R, which is red, it is supposed to correct dark circles, pigmentation, and highlight red undertone skin. Y, which is yellow, it is to hide and highlight yellow olive skin or neutralize redness. So meaning if you have yellow or olive skin, or you want to neutralize any redness on your face, then you would want to choose the yellow. N, which is neutral, and that is to highlight and hide. I will leave a list in the description box down below of concealers that I wear and what shades I wear in those concealers. I will also be comparing it to some of the shades that I have here in my collection. I will also leave a list of foundations that I wear in the description box down below so you guys can see what shade I'm in those foundations, and maybe that might help you guys when you are trying to find the shade that you want to try in this concealer. Description on this concealer is it's a ultra light concealer with 1 stroke, full coverage, and exceptional staying power thanks to an exclusive micronized pigments. It's free of parabens, and this product is also cruelty free. This Transfix Matte Concealer doesn't crease all day long and is completely transfer proof. Smooth and homogeneous application allows it to blend easily before it sets, which I will get into that in a second. Venus Vita provides the skin with excellent hydration benefits, hyaluronic acid, and collagen that smooths and softens the skin for long-lasting moisture and comfort. Now, the thing about easily blend before it sets, this concealer sets super fast. And as you'll see in the application, I really struggled trying to get this to blend out. So I do recommend putting it on one eye and blend it out, but I don't recommend like doing the typical triangle application with this product until you kind of get used to the formula, because it's going to dry too fast for you. So that's just a tip from the application portion. I feel like this is a concealer that kind of has a dry, if I can explain it, it kind of has like a dry oil type texture to it. So it's not creamy, but it's not drying. It's kind of that dry, oily type, and it's just a different type concealer. I don't think I have any concealer like this in my collection. I applied it on both of my under eyes today, and I am going to wear it for 12 hours and give it a really good wear test. So right here on the back of my hand are some shades of concealers that I have here in my collection. This one right here in the middle is the Natasha Denona Transfix Matte Concealer. So again, that one is in the shade 9WY. So 9 warm yellow. Starting over here is the Cover FX Power Play Concealer. That shade is medium 1. That's what that concealer shade looks like next to this one from Natasha Denona. This one right here is the Magic Away Concealer. That one is in shade 6 from Charlotte Tilbury, so you guys can see what that looks like. Those are all very similar in shade. They all kind of have that warm yellow tone to them. This one over here is the Becca Aqua Luminous Perfecting Concealer, and that one is in the shade Beige. And that one is the darkest concealer that I have here in my collection. This one over here on the end is the Jouer High Coverage Liquid Concealer, and that one is in the shade Macadamia, and that one's a really light concealer. So you can see just how much lighter Macadamia is than this one from Natasha Denona. These two up here are the Fenty Beauty Pro Filter Concealers, and this one right here is shade 260, and this one is 230. Now you can see that 260 is very similar to this one. If you guys know your shade in the Fenty Beauty Concealer, you can see just how close 260 is to this one from Natasha Denona. These two down here are from Kkw Beauty. This is her concealer. This one is shade 6, and this one is shade 8. And shade 6 is also extremely close to the one from Natasha Denona. This over here is from Tarte. It is the Shape Tape in the shade Light Medium Honey, and you can see how light that is. I used to use it for like eyelid primer, but you can just see how much lighter that one is from this one. So I definitely wanted to include that in here. I will leave a full list of all of the ones that I just talked about in the description box down below. So we're gonna go ahead and jump straight into the application portion of the video. I'm gonna show you guys how I applied this, and I have decided I'm gonna wear this for 2 days because I do feel like I really can't give you guys a full opinion on it just by wearing it one day. So without further ado, let's jump right into the application, and I will see you guys in my first check-in. Okay, so let's go ahead and start applying this concealer. Now, right now I'm testing out a new foundation. It's actually not a foundation, it's a CC cream. Now, a friend of mine has tried this concealer and she told me that it dries down pretty quickly. So she said, when you're applying it, go in, you know, lightly and place it on one eye at a time and blend it in. So that's what I'm gonna do. So this is what the doe foot applicator looks like. And don't mind my nails, they've grown out. My nail appointment is this week. But it's kind of stiffer, so it doesn't really have much of a bend to it, but it kind of comes out and tapers, as you can see. Here's to hoping that I got the right shade, because I'm afraid it might be, oh, it's a good shade. I was afraid it was going to be too dark. I really was. Like in here, it looks pretty dark. So I'm going to go ahead and blend that in with a sponge I have here. Yes, and she's right. It does dry fast. Oh, shizzy. Shizzy, shizzy. She's right. Oh, it dries really fast. Okay, it does. She's right about that. Do not put it on both and try to like do the whole, This will not work with this product. This dries pretty quick. And it's kind of a soft matte. It's the way it's filling. I'm gonna put a little bit right here. But you see how it like dries and it like wants to stay in that area. I might have to use maybe a brush. This like wants to attach to every single solitary, like everything underneath my eye. I do not like the way this looks. All right, let's not do a sponge on this side. Let's just go in and put a little bit and then blend it out with a brush. This like wants to attach and cling to everything. It dries so fast. Like it almost feels like an oily finish, like an oily matte. I don't know if that makes sense. It works better with a brush, but I still don't love this. I am so picky with my concealers though. Like this isn't shocking me that I don't love this. Like I am crazy picky with my concealers. And as you can see, it's just eccentric. What am I talking about? I have no idea. It's just exaggerating every single wrinkle. Okay, so we are way up close and personal, but I hope it's coming through. The light right here, my ring light is so bright that I really can't see through the monitor if this is showing up. I don't love the way that it looks. Like right here in this area, it's just like attaching weird. It's not creamy at all, and it kind of has that dry, oily type, so where like it snatches on to the skin and then it like patches up. So it's really patchy underneath my eyes, which I'm not loving that. All right, let's turn up the ring light. Okay, so let's go ahead and call the check-in time. It is currently 10:04, so I am going to wear this for as long as I can today, and I feel like it looks okay from afar, but when you get up close, it just does not look the best. That's it. I'm gonna go ahead and finish the rest of my makeup. I will come back and do a midday check-in, show you guys how this is wearing several hours in, and then I will come back tonight and give you guys my final thoughts. So I will see you guys then. Okay, you guys, I am back for a midday check-in on this concealer. I have not touched it. I haven't done anything with it since I threw on a tiny bit of makeup. I've been thinking about this concealer all day, and it really, really reminds me of a dry oil formula where it kind of tends to be a little bit patchy, and I didn't really expect that from a concealer. So it is almost 4 o'clock, so I put it on at like 10, so I've almost had it on for like 6 hours. So this would be like a midday check-in, like halfway mark. And I don't really like this. I have been so madly, deeply in love with my Marc Jacobs. This is the Accomplice concealer. Oh my gosh, this looks so beautiful. I feel like I need to give this one more day to kind of play around with it a little bit more and apply it differently tomorrow. Also going to compare it to the Marc Jacobs Accomplice concealer, because I do feel like the best way to test out a concealer is to test it next to your favorite concealer, and lately this one has been my favorite. Because I don't set my under eye, I kind of accept the fact that I'm gonna have creasing throughout the day, because sometimes I can just take my finger and kind of go like this and kind of remove some of the extra product that's sitting in between, you know, those wrinkles and the creases. It'll kind of make the creasing go away. But with this one, you almost can't, because this one is it's a dry oil formula. It's the weirdest formula. And so when it attaches the under eye, it really attaches to that delicate skin, and then it gets patchy in certain spots. So first we're gonna do it with the ring light on, so you guys can see what it looks like with the ring light, and then I will shut it off and we will show you guys what it looks like in more natural lighting. So as you can see, just like under here, it really pulls away from the skin and kind of really separates, and I'm not loving that. I don't really love the way that feels or the way that looks under my eye. All right, let's turn off the ring light. So this is what we're looking like in more natural lighting, and yeah, it is a crusty mess under there. And I think, you know, the beauty light always makes things look a little bit more softer, but when you turn the ring light off and you see it in more natural lighting, you can just see exactly how exaggerating this is under my eyes and kind of how cakey and like built up it is. I don't really love that about this. So that's it for this check-in. I will see you guys later on this evening. Okay, you guys, I am back. It is currently 11 o'clock, so I've officially had this concealer on for what, like 13 hours now? Okay, so again, this is 13 hours later, and as you can see, it's just really patchy and like builds up, especially right here, and I would not call this a full coverage. I would call this like a medium coverage. And with my two favorite concealers, which is the Tarte Creaseless Concealer and the new Marc Jacobs Accomplice Concealer, those I get really good coverage from. This I just feel like is like a medium coverage, and it just dries so fast, and I feel like because of that, it clings to texture, it clings to wrinkles. Let's go ahead and turn off the ring light. Those under eyes are really dry. Like, I think that's the thing that I've noticed all day, is just how dry my under eyes are. Like, I feel like I just need some hydration under there, and it doesn't provide any hydration. Now, don't get me wrong, I know it's a matte formula, so you kind of get what you get when you get a matte concealer, but this one's on a whole other level, and I believe that it said it had hyaluronic acid. I'm gonna try to work with it tomorrow and, you know, see if maybe putting an eye cream on underneath it and then blending it out with my finger, maybe that might help it. I don't know. So that's it for this check-in. I will see you guys in tomorrow's application. So day 2, I'm going to try to make this concealer work, but as you'll notice, I have an extra wrinkle on this eye. So to make it fair, I'm going to put the Natasha Denona on the one that's the better eye, and I'm going to put the Marc Jacobs on this eye. Now I know that my face is extra greasy right now. I am actually testing out a new CC cream, and so typically I can get rid of all the shine once I put on some setting powder. So just know that you know, my face is a little bit greasy, but I'm not going to put a bunch of setting powders on first before going with my concealer. You know what I mean? So I am going to apply just a tiny, tiny little bit of my eye cream, and I just keep like random sample eye creams down here in my beauty room. This one is the Clinique Pep Start eye cream, and I'm gonna put a little bit of that underneath my eyes. I'm gonna have sponge in hand ready to go, because this is not a type of product that you can like put it on, put the thing band in there, stick it on the table, and then go in. Like, you need to have everything ready. So I'm actually gonna put this down on the table. I'm gonna go a little bit like this, and then I'm gonna immediately start blending that in. But do you see how hard that is to blend? I just went in immediately, and it literally wants to dry that stinking fast. This is like a concealer that it just dries too quickly. Like, it does not allow you to melt it into the skin. That looks a hell of a lot better than it did yesterday. So I'm gonna leave it there. I'm not even gonna add more, even though I would prefer a little bit more coverage, because I would say this is more of a medium coverage situation. But I'm not even gonna mess with it, you guys, because if it looks halfway decent, I'm gonna leave it. So now I'm gonna put the Marc Jacobs, this is the Accomplice concealer. Oh, I love this concealer. So I'm just going to put a little bit of that right here. And I like to blend this out with a brush. Now, you could totally just blend it entirely out with your finger, but I'm a little bit impatient. So I like to kind of blend it out with my brush and then go in and kind of melt it in with my finger. This is the Marc Jacobs side. This is a Natasha Denona side. And as you can see, like, I still need a little bit more coverage right here in this area. And it's better than it was yesterday. It's not as patchy as it was, but I'm gonna go ahead and try to put on just a tiny, tiny little bit right there in that area, just to get rid of that spot right here. It's raining outside, by the way. We're supposed to be getting a really bad storm tonight. So damn patchy. Do you see how awful that looks? I don't even know if it's showing up on camera. In real life, it looks terrible. Let's turn off the ring light. I mean, as you can see, like, I have no concealer in that spot. Like, this one is nice and really natural, and this one is just like really pulling apart right here. I don't know. I might have to take this off, make sure that I put it up into here, that very first application, because now it's really separated and like really pulled away from the skin. It's just a very hard concealer to work with. It's just ridiculously hard. I'm gonna go ahead and get off of here, and I will see you guys in my midday check-in. Okay, everyone, I'm back for my midday check-in here on my concealer. Now, as you guys know, this morning I applied my Marc Jacobs Accomplice on this side, and I applied the Natasha Denona on this side. It is almost 5 o'clock, and I think I applied it today, I would say probably around 10 or 10:30. So I've had it on for about 7 hours. I'm definitely over my halfway mark. This has been the best I've seen this wear. Yesterday, I absolutely hated it. So when I went off camera, I did go ahead and wipe it off, and I reapplied it. I reapplied a little bit of the eye cream, and then I went back over top, and I made sure that I put some like here, and then really blended it in really fast. So I do think this is the best that I have worn this so far. But the problem is that once this is on, you can't go back in with more. I think that's the thing that I like the least about this, is that there's no forgiveness. When you put it on, you have to put it on and leave it. Like, you can't go back in. There's no second chance with this. And so that's the definite bummer, because it will lift away from the skin. So this is the Marc Jacobs side, and this is the Natasha Denona side. This side, in my opinion, looks better than it did yesterday. So that's it for this check-in. I am going to come back tonight and give you guys my full opinion on this concealer, so I will see you guys then. Okay everyone, I'm back for my final thoughts. It is 12:30 at night and I have officially had this on for about 14 hours now. I am ready to wipe my makeup off, but I've been editing, trying to finish this video, so I was just going to enter this last little clip in. But I'm not going to keep repeating myself. I've said it a million times. This product exaggerates wrinkles. This product dries way too quickly. It has like a dry oil type feeling to it. It kind of starts separating and pulling away from the skin. It is definitely not a concealer that I recommend to anyone. I wouldn't even say that this is a concealer that would work good for anybody in their 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s. It's just not a good concealer in my personal opinion. Now, the thing I will say is today was the best day because I did put some hydration under this eye. So, you know, looking back through the footage when I was editing, I could tell that this side looks so much better today than it did yesterday on both eyes. So this is a product that's drying under the eye. That's what it tells me. When a concealer looks better with a little bit of hydration underneath it, it's a drying concealer. And some would say, well, it's a matte concealer. Yes, it's a matte concealer, but it also says that it has hyaluronic acid in it. And typically when you have a matte concealer that has hyaluronic acid, it's supposed to retain the moisture and it doesn't. So there's so many good concealers out on the market right now, and I kind of feel like she missed the mark on this one. I don't know how everybody else is feeling about it. I do know the friend of mine that has worn this actually really likes it. So, you know, she's only worn it a few times and she's like, I kind of like it. So she's going to be reviewing it soon, but I don't know. For me, it just didn't work. Now, I do know that I'm 40, and so I told her, I'm like, I got some years on you. She's like, I think she's like 32, so maybe that's the reason why it looks better on her than it does me. I'm not sure. This concealer just doesn't work for me. Bottom line, as you guys know, I love my Marc Jacobs. I've been talking about it the entire video. I also really love the Tarte Creaseless Concealer. This does give hydration underneath the eye, and it gives the illusion of a creaseless look, which I absolutely love. I also really like the Magic Away Concealer from Charlotte Tilbury, and I also freaking love this concealer from Sally's Beauty. This is the Collab Concealer. This is one of the best concealers from the drugstore in the more affordable range. So I have a feeling that, you know, if you tried any of the 4 concealers that I just mentioned, you will have so much better luck than with this one. This one is just too patchy, it dries too quickly, and it does not look good underneath the eye, and I am giving up on it. So I'm not going to keep repeating myself. That is my final review. That is my final thoughts on this concealer. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Thank you guys for all the love that you guys show me and my channel. It truly means the world to me, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day filled with love and happiness. I will see you guys right back here tomorrow at 11 a.m. and I love you all so much. Bye!